Hi everybody, my name is Amanda Calabrese and I'm SUNY Delhi's online librarian. I made this video to give you a couple of tips for getting your citations and your reference list in shape. We have a lot of resources from the library and other places that show you all the nitty-gritty details about where the punctuation goes in your citation and what goes in italics or quotes and what order the pieces of your citation go in. All of that is important, but before we get into that, I want to talk about the big picture with citations and how they work. So why do you have to cite your sources? You've probably heard lots of times that you have to cite your sources or else you're plagiarizing, and there are all kinds of scary consequences if you plagiarize. And it's really important not to plagiarize, and the consequences for it are serious. But there are other reasons that we want you to learn how to cite your sources well. It's important to know how to use information that's out there in the world and combine it with your own ideas, and to be able to show which stuff is your own and what you got from some other source. In general, how do you do that? On our campus, APA and MLA are the two most common citation formats used in assignments, and what I'm going to say applies to both of those styles. As you're writing, some of your content is going to come from your own head, and some of it is going to come from outside sources. Anything you got from an outside source, whether it's a quote or if you summarized it or put it in your own words, needs an in-text citation. This tells the reader right away that they're looking at information from an outside source. For both APA and MLA, this kind of citation usually goes in parentheses at the end of the sentence. Now, the in-text citation isn't going to tell your reader everything about that source. It's only going to give the author's name and maybe a page number or a date. Again, this varies depending on whether you're using APA or MLA. But in both styles, if your reader wants to know more about the source, they will look at your references or works cited page at the end of your paper to see the rest of the details for a source you cited in text. The citations on that page are more complete and include all the publication details. What exactly is in those citations depends on the style you're using and whether it's an article, or a book, or a website, but those complete citations can have things that aren't in the in-text citation, like an article title, the name of the journal the article came from, the web address where you found it, and so on. Someone who is reading your paper should be able to track down any of your original sources from the information you give on that references or works cited page if they wanted to. That's why it's important to include every source you put in an in-text citation on your references or works cited page. So, that's a quick overview of how citations are supposed to work. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot more details about what kind of information to include in in-text citations and on your references or works cited list, and we know that all those details can seem overwhelming. Just remember that librarians are here to help, so don't hesitate to bring your citation questions to us. You can visit us at the reference desk, or you can call, email, text, or chat using the Ask a Librarian chat box on the right side of the library's website. We hope to hear from you soon.